dbt has become one of the most crucial data tools for data engineers and analysts in the last 4 years. But what problem does it actually solve, and how does it work? In this video, I'm going to tell the story of how a sandwich shop ran into serious data problems and how dbt helped them fix it. So if you've ever struggled to understand the purpose of dbt, this is the video for you. Hey friends, my name is Mons and I've been studying data science and AI for the past 5 years. And on this channel, I help you build a solid foundation in data science so that you can grow faster in your career. Let's get into the story. Susan and John opened their first store in 2016. They grew quickly and got new locations and hired more staff. John was the data guy, and he set up an SQL server to keep track of customers, orders, and the different products that they have. He used SQL queries to get answers to questions like, what was the revenue last month? Which sandwiches sell most? And how many customers are coming back? And for a while, this worked fine. But as the company expanded with new locations and 2 new data hires, Kiara and Kevin, John started to notice some cracks in the system. More specifically, he noticed 3 things that didn't work so well. The first one was conflicting definitions. The data team would sometimes give different answers to the same question. So if the CEO asked about revenue, John always used gross sales, but Kiara used net sales and Kevin actually remembered to subtract the refunds. Since nothing was documented, different definitions of the same concepts appeared and were used beside each other. The second problem was bad data slipping through. So the raw data wasn't clean. There were orders with missing customer IDs, there were negative totals, and timestamps that didn't really make sense. John usually patched these normally, but he knew that there were things that were slipping through that were out of his control. The third problem is visibility into lineage. When the executive team looked at a dashboard and they wondered where a number came from, John couldn't answer what SQL query or what kind of transformations were made to create that number. He had to scroll through his notebook of different SQL queries that he had used, and he has to basically guess what he used to create the number that's in front of them. By this point, it was clear to John that the data system that they had wasn't keeping up with the growth of the business. They needed a new approach. And this is how dbt comes in. So let's first briefly explain what dbt actually does. The primary job of dbt is to organize and transform data inside your SQL database. It does this with SQL models that clean, transform, and change the data already in the database. These transformations are written as SQL files, and they run by dbt on the database to either create new tables or views. Before dbt, each data analyst wrote their own SQL queries on the raw data. But with dbt, they all share access to documented and tested SQL models. And what's great about dbt is that it's version controlled. Each analyst accesses the same models and can see how they have changed over time, and there's also documentation built in. So dbt takes these models and schedules them to run on the database to create new tables with updated information. And what's great about this is that you can also include tests to be run on every single batch job that dbt does. This means that dbt solves the 3 key problems that John ran into. First, dbt made the shared definitions like revenue defined and documented inside of the data transformation tool. Second, they had tests and quality checks each time dbt ran to make sure that no faulty data was getting through. And third, they have the lineage. dbt documents the path that data takes from the raw tables to the finished tables. If you're wondering about how a number ended up here, you can see the data lineage and look at the transformations that were made to that data point. This makes dbt a great tool for teams that are looking to cooperate on the data tasks in an organization. It's shared, it's version controlled, and you can add tests easily. If you found this video helpful, consider hitting the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next video.